Good morning, everybody. Welcome. It's good to see all of you here on this beautiful, cool day. It's amazing. So thank you for coming. We want to say welcome to Peace of Christ, and we are so grateful to be here at Spirit Reigns, and it's just a wonderful place and so hospitable, and we're so gracious. And if you need a bathroom while you're here, they're in this building right here. You go up the stairs and down the hall to the right, and there are a couple of different restrooms that you can use. And also, there was a welcome table floating around here somewhere. I don't see it, but the welcome table's in the back. Cool. So there is water back there. If you did not bring water and you're thirsty, you could probably tell we're a real formal congregation. But no, just kidding. Feel free to get up and go get water if you need to, and use the restroom and all those kind of things. There's a guide that if you don't have one, you can put your hands up. Paul is walking around passing them out. And there's also song sheets this morning since we don't have a projector and that kind of thing. And the lyrics for the music will be on the song sheet naturally. So I want to invite you to stand as we begin worshiping this morning. It's a joyful Sunday. We celebrate baptism. We celebrate what God is doing in the lives of many of the kids in our church family and in our church. We're going to sing Joyful, Joyful. Joyful, joyful, we adore thee, God of glory, Lord of love. Hearts unfold like flowers before thee. Oh, to the summer, never out of fear and sadness, by the dark of thy home. To the immortal that experience in the night. All thy works with joy surround the earth, and every bird thy rays, stars and angels sing around thee. Center of unknown praise, field and forest, river, mountain, cloudy bed of ashes, gently burden flowing mountain cause to rejoice in thee. Mortals join the mighty chorus, which the morning stars begin. God of love is reigning glorious, sibling love binds forth, and rivers sing, march me on, angels in the joyful music is the sound of triumphs on the night. Right. I open up to you, this love that makes me new. Oh, may my heart receive this love that carries me from the head to the heart, from the head to the heart. You take me on the journey, letting go, get lost with you. From the head to the heart, you take me on the journey, letting go. open wide, I encourage you to open your hearts to God. My heart is open wide. I will receive your light. You give me faith like a child. In you my heart runs wild. 'Cause there's no shame. 'Cause there's no shame in looking like a fool. When I give you what I can't keep, you take a hold of you. Oh, there's no shame in looking like a fool. When I give you what I can't keep, you take a hold of you. Sing more than words. More than words, more than good ideas. I found your love with broken wheels. More than words, more than good ideas. I found your love with broken wheels. Sing that two more times. More than words, more than good ideas. I found your love with broken wheels. More than words, more than good ideas. I found your love with the open fields. 'Cause there's no shame. 'Cause there's no shame in looking like a fool. When I give you what I can't keep, take a hold of you. Oh, there's no shame in looking like a fool. When I give you what I can't keep, take a hold of you. From the head to the heart, you take me on the journey of letting go, getting lost in you. From the head to the heart, you take me on the journey of letting go, getting lost in you. Oh, there's no shame in looking like a fool. When I give you what I can't keep, you take a hold of you. Oh, there's no shame in looking like a fool. When I give you what I can't keep, you take a hold of you. You may be seated.
Oh. Is it on? Is it on? Hello, hello. It's on. It is on? Oh, okay. It feels so quiet. I now understand why Jonathan has his sunglasses on. It's like the sun is right in my eye. I know. But it's okay. Okay. So what does baptism mean in a community like ours? Early on in the story of our community, nearly a decade ago, we hosted conversations about this very topic. Back then, we had been forming up the church, doing fun stuff like shaping mission and visions and bylaws, really fun. All things which have taken shape and then evolved again and again over the last decade. At the time, we had borrowed some wording from a like-minded church who was a lot older, meaning their bylaws had some ancient but common clauses in there. And for the most part, we didn't mess with it too much, but one section in particular did jump out to us, the wording around baptism. And at the time, it mentioned that to be a part of the church, one had to be baptized if they wanted to enter into membership with the church. Even way back then, when our landscape looked a lot more traditional than it does now, even way back then when most of us had never even heard of the word deconstructing or things like that, our propensity toward a more open and generous theology was revealing itself because even way back then, this language, although very typical, our instinct was to challenge it. And so we decided to host a series of conversations around baptism, and what we discovered was that nearly all of us had some negative or traumatic memory around baptism. Of course, there were exceptions, there always are, but I remember being amazed that I wasn't alone in my own experience. See, I had been raised in the Catholic Church, which was a really positive experience. I'd been baptized in the Catholic Church, and then told as a college student, eager to be in faith community, that I would need to be rebaptized in order to become involved in my new evangelical context. My original baptism didn't count in this experience and in this story. I remember sharing this story alongside so many others, all different, all particular to each individual in their context, and yet so many of us had felt harmed by the exclusionary and rigid views of baptism. So this year is only our second year to even do baptisms in our community, and I've sometimes wondered if many of us needed time to heal from the concept altogether. But here we are, a decade later, reclaiming and ushering this sacred ritual into the life of our community. Now, while I may not have a heavy-handed prescription for baptism to give you, I can tell you what it doesn't mean. It doesn't mean that you are suddenly saved. It doesn't mean you are suddenly good. It doesn't mean that you suddenly belong. The truth is, for Andrew and Eleanor and Eve and for all of us, that you were born good. You were created in God's own image, and you are loved by God, and you belong to God, baptism or not. This ritual moment today, and the last 5 months that you each have spent intentionally preparing for it, is a marker where we, your community, celebrate and affirm your desire to move deeper into an awareness of that belonging on your spiritual journey. And so now I want to invite all of you to participate with me in this marker by joining me in the communion liturgy, another ritual we do around here. Like baptism, it is a ritual of acknowledgement done in community and helping us to remember that we don't just belong to God, we also belong to each other. No conditions, no exceptions. So join me in reading along with the bold. God is within you.
God is also within you.
Lift up your hearts.
Join in the beloved community.
Let us give thanks for the blessing of life.
Together we raise our voices together.
Great is the mystery of faith.
Christ has reunited death, and we join him in bringing heaven to earth.
So what we're going to do is we're going to have deacons standing on either corner up front, and you can come on the outside of whatever makeshift row there you've sort of created, and we'll just do our best. Everyone of all ages is welcome.
So the next song we're going to sing is called Joyful Noise. And we can make a joyful noise, right?
Joyful noise.
We can make a joyful noise, right?
Yeah!
And it's kind of a fun song, and so after the song, Pastor Naomi's going to have a kids moment. But if you kids want to go ahead and come down, you can dance and move and do all the fun things that you want if you want to, just get down during the song, all right? So let's come up and sing if y'all want, kids. Come on. You just stand as you're able. There you go, dance.
Yeah!
Bring it back to Running Man. You see the floss, maybe? Sing a song to the Lord. Go on and lift your voice. Sing a song to the Lord. Make a joyful noise. Sing a song to the Lord. Go on and lift your voice. La 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 la. Make a joyful noise. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Make a joyful noise. Sing a song to the Lord, go on and clap your hands. Sing a song to the Lord, go on and stomp your feet and dance. Sing a song to the Lord, go on and clap your hands. La 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 la, go stomp your feet and dance. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, go stomp your feet. Clap your hands and stomp your feet. God made the whole world to sing. Fills our hearts with all these things so we can lift our voices up. Sing a song to the Lord, don't shake your tambourine. Sing a song to the Lord, let your voices ring. Sing a song to the Lord, don't shake your tambourine. La 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 la, let your voices ring. Clap your hands and stomp your feet. God made the whole world to sing. Fills our hearts with all these so we can lift our voices up. Sing a song to the Lord, go on and lift your voice. Sing a song to the Lord and make a joyful noise. Sing a song to the Lord, go on and lift your voice. La 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 la, make a joyful noise. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, make a joyful noise. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, make a joyful noise. La 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 la, make a joyful noise. You may be seated. Kids, come on down for kids time.
Oh, kiddos, I love seeing all that energy. Thank you for coming down. Any kid is welcome. And it's good to see all these faces today. Hi. And we have a grasshopper, church pet today. So today, obviously you can tell that it's a very special day because we're having a baptism. As you see the giant pool of water there.
I said a spider can get into my mouth.
Listen, so
Today is special not just for the 3 kids getting baptized, because we're actually also going to include a little special blessing for all the kids. Any child who wants to is invited to receive a special blessing. But first, I wanted to talk a little bit about what that is. So, what is a blessing? This means, yes, well,
Something you do for others that makes people feel happy. Share things with people.
sharing is a blessing. Some things you do for others to help them feel happy. Like a miracle. Yeah, those are all great. This is kind of like what we're doing today. And a blessing that you can receive from another person is look, we're saying that you are important, that you are loved, that we are promising, all of us as a church are promising you that we will take care of you and we will support you on your own spiritual journey. Just because you're not getting baptized doesn't mean you're not going to get all the support and love from everyone else. So we're doing this because we always, always want you to remember that you are extremely special to us. And sometimes it's just fun to be reminded that you're special. And so that's why we're doing this. So we're going to do something where we're using our senses. So I'm going to touch your forehead with a little bit of oil, and it's called anoint. Anoint just means like to smear with oil. And I have, you've probably eaten oil in your food without even knowing it. Like when you eat French fries, those were like dipped in oil. And other foods, salads and salad dressings have oil in them. We're not eating this oil. It's not really, don't eat it, but it's just gonna be up here, so it doesn't really matter. But I put a little bit of frankincense as well, so it's kind of symbolizes Jesus, because that's what the oil he received when he was born. So it smells good, and it's just a special moment for you. So in a moment, we're going to ask all the kids who want to participate to kind of line up, and you'll go one at a time. And Jonathan is going to play some music. I forgot to tell you. And we're just going to have a little bit of song going on, and we're just going to take a little bit of time to do that. And after that, the kids that are ages 2 and 4 can go in the kids building with David 2 to 4. If you are older and want to go, you can. But if you're here to watch the baptism and you want to watch your sibling or someone you love get baptized, you're welcome to stay here. The older kids, like 7 and up, are also welcome to stay here. So is that good? Any questions? special. The kids of ages 2 and 4 can follow David Stippick into the kids' building, and the rest are here for the rest of the festivities. I'm going to stand up here because the sun is right there.
I'm gonna move it, yeah.
Good morning. Here at Peace of Christ, we often do what we call a deeper look, to where we ask questions of our community members to find out more about them. This is a way that we kind of get to know each other digitally. If you're online, we don't always get to see each other in person, so it kind of gets us more familiar with who's around. So this morning, I'm going to do a deeper look with our baptism kiddos. So if I can have Eleanor and Andrew and Eve come up here, I'm going to ask them some questions. All right. And Eve brought the grasshopper too. So I'm going to start by asking you your name and how old you are.
I'm Eleanor and I am 8 years old. I'm Eve and I'm 8 years old. I'm Andrew and I'm 8 years old.
They're all 8 years old. All right, so we're going to start with Eleanor. Eleanor, what does baptism mean to you, and why did you want to be baptized?
Well, to me, baptism means being like having sins on you, and then when you go in and come back up, you're clean, fresh, and you kind of have those sins wiped off you. And I wanted to be baptized because 2 years ago, my cousin Harper got baptized, and she kind of inspired me to kind of want to follow in what she did, because it was a really pretty sight to see when she got baptized.
All right, thank you, Eleanor. Is Harper here?
Yes, she's back
I saw
there.
Harper's necklace that said Harper. All right, Andrew. You all had to do a service project. Can you tell me what you did for your service project, and why did you choose this?
I picked up trash through a trail, and I wanted to do it because I wanted to clean up God's creation and make it clean.
All right. And Eve, what did you enjoy most about this whole baptism process?
So I liked making, my service project was making the cards, and I really liked doing that because I do art. And my favorite lesson we had was the one with Joyce and Naomi, where we planted the plants.
All right, that's awesome. Thank you. I'm also going to read today's scripture. It comes to us from Matthew chapter 28, verses 16 through 20. And I'll be reading from the inclusive version. The 11 made their way to Galilee, to the mountain where Jesus had summoned them. At the sight of the risen Christ, they fell down in homage, though some doubted what they were seeing. Jesus came forward and addressed them in these words: "All authority has been given to me, both in heaven and on earth. Go, therefore, and make disciples of all the nations. Baptize them in the name of Abba God, and of the only begotten, and of the Holy Spirit. Teach them to carry out everything I have commanded you, and know that I am with you always, even until the end of this world." We hear the voice of God through these words.
Thanks be to God.
I'm going to move out of the sun as well. Ooh, there's rocks up here. Hi. Hi, Eleanor, Eve, and Andrew. Hi, fellow humans. Hi, nature. Hi, trees and horse poop and horses and sun and heat. Hi, birds, with your noises and songs. Hi, friends, in other words. Today is a wonderful day. We get to celebrate a baptism today, something we've been working toward for months, all the way up to yesterday when Jill and Rhonda were at Tractor Supply buying our baptismal font, having a Tractor Supply employee in their red vest lay down in there to see if a full-grown man would fit. And he was loving it from what I saw in the pictures. It's a special day. Today we get to baptize 3 members of our community. It's taken a lot of planning and a lot of doing to get here. Why do we do this? Why all this energy and effort and planning and doing? Simply put, today is a day that we celebrate belonging and commitment. Believe it or not, these are things that we have too little of in the world today. Belonging and commitment. There is a smallness in our world today. Smallness in hearts and smallness in minds. And we don't have many places that practice this, belonging and commitment. To belong to some places, you have to perhaps hide parts of yourself, or pay big amounts of money, or do something extraordinary, or have special skills, or be beautiful, or brilliant. Good news, you don't have to check any of those boxes to be here today. I remember when I was your age, Eve, Andrew, and Eleanor, I wanted to belong to a group. So the first thing I did is I tried out for the elementary school choir. No one had ever told me that I was a bad singer, so I thought it was a good idea until the choir teacher gave me a little slip of paper after my audition with my score on it, and it said, minimum score needed, 37. Your score, 24. And right beneath that it said, did you make it? Question mark, exclamation mark. Which I thought was a really silly thing to put on there. Maybe she had never not had anyone make it before. Undeterred, I tried out for the other club that we had at my elementary school. It was handbells. Do they still have those? Yeah, some schools do. I tried out for the handbells. I couldn't get it to work, so I didn't make it into that group either. But I had another plan. 2 of my friends, Ryan and Larry, we decided to start our own club then. Fine, if I can't be in choir, if I can't be in the handbell club, they didn't make it either apparently. So we decided we would bring hats to school and we would wear them clipped around our right front belt loop. That was our thing. That was our club. That was it. That was the extent of it. So the next day the other guys brought their hats, but my dad said I couldn't. So I didn't bring my hat. I was working on an assignment at my desk when I noticed a folded up piece of paper on the corner, so I put down my pencil, I unfolded the paper, and it simply said on there, sorry man, you're out. It's a true story. The search for a club continued, and eventually I found my people. People I felt that I could be myself around. People that would welcome and accept me, even if I couldn't bring a hat to school. It was friend groups and sports teams, and eventually Miss Heather, and then Haddon and Ellis, and Milo the dog, and Jinx the cat, and Peace of Christ Church. This community where we share our lives together. You 3 realize that's what we're doing. We're sharing our lives together. We weep together. We celebrate together. For example, today we celebrate belonging. Belonging. I would say to you, this is basically the work of Jesus and what Jesus was always about doing. Once people came to him and said, hey, we found this woman sinning. Can we kill her? And he was like, well, I know your silly rules say you can kill her, but I guess if we're going to do that, then how about the first person who's never messed up? They can throw a stone at her and start it. And they were like, oh, well, I guess there's room for her in this world. I guess she gets to belong. Once Jesus told a story and said, being a part of a church is like if you planted a garden and then one day you saw that it was full of weeds, but you decided I better let it all grow up together because if I go out there tromping and stomping around to get the weeds out, I'm going to crush all the little plants as well. So I'll just let it all grow together. He was telling them, make space in your garden, make space in your club, make space in your world for the people that you think are weeds, because if you go out there just trying to pick out everything you don't want, you're going to do more harm than good. If you insist on having a pure and perfect and pristine garden, you will tromp and stomp all over everyone. Once at the end of Jesus' time on earth, he met all his closest friends on top of a mountain, and he told them, go into all the world, even out to Spirit Rains Ranch, and teach people to live like I showed you with my own life, and make God's family bigger and bigger and bigger. And every time someone wants to let the world know that they're part of God's family and they want to live the way of Jesus in this world, then you should baptize them. Jana just read these words for us. We're here to celebrate belonging today. The other reason we're here today is to celebrate commitment. Commitment. Baptism is a commitment that you are making to your community, this community, and the other communities you belong to, and to the world. You're telling everyone that you are serious about following the way of Jesus in your life, in your school, in your home, and even with your friends and enemies. Like when Jesus said, the greatest person is the one who serves others. And when Jesus said, take care of those who need it, even if all you can do is give them a cup of cold water. And today is not just about your commitments to us and your commitments to this community, but it's about our commitment to you also, Andrew, Eleanor, and Eve. We are committing to you. Your people here are making promises to you today also. Take a look around. We are promising to be there for you, to be your aunts and your uncles, your grandmas and your grandpas, your brothers and your sisters. We are promising to be your people, your friends that you can count on when the hardness or the smallness of life comes after you and it gets tough. We are committing to you also today. And last, I want to talk about the process that got us here to this wonderful day. The process. It's been a whole community effort that we've been working on for 5 months, as Aurelia said. In many churches, if you want to get baptized, you just have to go talk to the pastor, usually an older guy, and he'll say, do you believe this? Check, check, check. And have you memorized this? Check, check, check. Do you have the right answers to this? Check, check, check. But we did something different to get to today, didn't we? Together we dreamed up and we did a 4-part journey process. These included service. Ms. Jana talked about that a minute ago. Why service? Why did we say service has to be a part of our baptism process? Well, we are a people who do stuff, not just think about stuff. We are a people who show love in our actions, not just memorizing things. Love is something we do, not just something we feel or think about. So you and Jana, our lead deacon, you talked about ideas for serving others, and then you came up with your own ideas and did them. You did. Eleanor, there you are. You made care packages for people who are experiencing homelessness. And you involved this community to do that with you. And you involved your school friends, and you involved the Buy Nothing group of your local area as well. I mean, you thought big. You thought really big, and that circle just kept growing. You were inviting all kinds of people to join you in that service. I love it. Andrew, you led a neighborhood cleanup for a new park being built in your area, a park that is intended to raise awareness and honor children who have tragically died. You invited this community to join you, and your neighbors and your friends, and you all did that together, and then you had a cookout afterward, if I remember correctly. I love it. I love every bit of it. Please, keep doing stuff like that. And Eve, you made incredibly detailed and intricate handmade cards for kids enduring cancer treatment. From what I understand, each card itself was an experience for the person who would be opening it. It wasn't something you open and toss away. It's something they'll keep forever, and they will feel loved. I love how you demonstrated your faith by serving and working in that way, and each of you in different ways. May service always, always, always be woven into your story of what it means to follow Jesus. Second, we talked about beliefs and virtues. Our three main virtues as Christians are faith, hope, and love. You three and Naomi and Joyce, you met and you talked about what that looks like and how faith is like the roots of a plant that grow in the darkness and they bring nutrients up to the stem, and how the stem is like hope that supports the plant and keeps it upright and through the storms of life, the hard times of life, the winds of life, and how the leaves and flowers and fruit, they grow and they fill our world with the nourishment of beauty and food, and we would say the nourishment of love. May you always be rooted in faith, held upright by hope, and bear the beauty and fruit of love that our world needs so, so badly. Third, we talked about rituals and spiritual practices. You met with Pastor Aurelia, who taught you about the sacred rituals of our faith, like baptism and communion and altars, and how we use them to mark important events and promises and times. And my hope is that sacred rituals like these and so many others will guide you through life and help you navigate